Hi there. Let's talk today a little bit about stress. And actually, I want to talk about a term called adrenal fatigue. And that's just a big fancy way to say that your body has been under the stress response so long that instead of becoming just something that is a short-term problem, it can actually lead to major health implications. So adrenal fatigue is just a fancy way to say that you've been stressed out too long. And there are stages. You can be in stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. And what happens is this is an imbalance where your adrenal glands, and these are some little walnut-sized glands that sit right above your kidneys, that produce certain stress hormones and control the stress response in your body. And our body is designed to deal beautifully with short-term stress, like traffic jams, and kind of the proverbial example is being chased by a wild animal, because historically that that actually happened. I don't know too many people today that are actually being chased by any kind of animals except maybe the random dog. But anyway, you get my point, is our bodies are designed to deal with a short-term crisis, and then we go back to normal, to the resting and digesting stage versus that fight or flight stage. And so we have this nice rhythm that we're supposed to be in. Times of stress, we ramp up. Times when we're not under stress, we relax, and our blood pressures normalize, and our heart rate comes down, and our stress hormones normalize and come back down. But what happens when someone is not doing that process and they get kind of stuck in this fight or flight stage? And unfortunately, I see this happening so much. The last year and a half have been insanely stressful on a lot of people. And what is happening is that a short-term stress response is becoming a way of life. And I frequently see people that will tell me, I'm not stressed out, everything's fine. And we run some tests on them, and I say, well, your body is telling you a different story. Here's what it looks like, and you can map this all out on a test that's either done via the saliva or the urine. It's a real simple test that you can see your stress response. It's called an adrenal stress index panel, and you can see how your body's handling stress. And a lot of times people are just absolutely floored to see, hey, your body is sending the message to your brain, I am under chronic stress. And then a whole bunch of things happen that we don't want to happen. Our stress hormone, cortisol, goes up. That makes it harder to lose weight because it promotes the release of insulin, and that is a fat storage hormone. It makes us struggle to fall asleep. If our levels of cortisol are dysregulated, we can have cortisol showing up at the wrong time, like at night when we're trying to go to sleep. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of things that happen, and depending on where we are on this continuum of, are we early on in this process, or has my body been doing this for long enough that now I'm not even responding? My body is crying out for more stress hormone, and I just can't make it because I don't have anything left. And if that goes on long enough, other problems will start to show up. I often see that as the root cause, that someone started to develop a thyroid problem because they went so long in that state of stress that their body just gave up and said, I need to slow down. I can't keep up with the demand you're putting on me. So one of the ways it does that is slow down your metabolism via your thyroid. And so you've got that, and the hormones, the sex hormones, male and female hormones, estrogens, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, all of that stuff can be profoundly affected by chronic stress. So problems in that area can start showing up. So this is a big package to unravel if you feel like, you know what, that might be me. So what do? There are strategies you can use if you suspect adrenal fatigue. And one of the best things that you can do is to normalize it's called a circadian rhythm, that rhythm of you're going to bed at the right time and you're waking up in the morning and you feel good when you wake up. So I always tell people, go to bed by 10 o'clock. When you go to bed after 10 o'clock, you don't get the deep restorative sleep that you get. That window is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you're not going to bed till 11 or 12, you're missing out on the really good sleep. And we know from research that cortisol levels and insulin levels will be elevated in the morning in people that get less than 7 hours of sleep. So 7 hours is a minimum for sleep. I say more than that if you can, 7 to 9, closer to 9 as much as you can, but at least 7 hours at 10 or before, getting to bed before that time. Shut off all the distractions in your bedroom. All of that light coming from phones and tablets and TVs and all that stuff creates, it's blue light radiation, and it makes it really hard for your body to get into that deep restorative sleep that you need. So that's a huge, huge deal. Eat in a way that supports your body. Healthy fats, good clean proteins, grass-fed meats, pastured eggs, things like that. Lots of vegetables, some fruits. Cut out the refined carbohydrates and refined sugars, things like that. And there are some herbs, and they're called adaptogens. Things like ashwagandha and rhodiola and licorice, used appropriately when you feel like, hey, I'm just, the lifestyle stuff is doing some good, but I just need a little bit of support. And those are my favorites. Ashwagandha is probably one of my favorites. And then also consider that if you have been on an adrenal protocol, for example, for years, which I have people all the time, they say, I'm treating my adrenal fatigue, and sometimes I feel better and sometimes I don't. Consider that there might be a trigger with that. And so I look at things like, have you been exposed to chronic infections like the Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease? There's some other ones too, but those are just kind of things like that. Is your immune system under some chronic stress, and you need to look at repairing that? Are you having some nutritional deficiencies or blood sugar imbalances that are going to make it really hard to fix the adrenal problem unless you also correct those underlying issues? So it's kind of this simple thing that is not really all that simple when you dig in, and sometimes it helps to run that by someone who can help you dig a little deeper and ask some of the questions that you need to ask to get to the bottom of your issue. So if I can be of help to you, reach out to me and my team, and we will do our best to help you create the custom solution that you need to get feeling better. But I just wanted to talk about that because it's a hot thing right now that I'm seeing a lot of. And I thought it might be you, and I wanted to help.